Hi y'all, this is literally the first time I've ever done something like this in my life. We're on the set of Carmen BTV, not technically, we in my house, but today is the first day of filming for Carmen BTV. This is literally a God dream for me. Like, I have been waiting to come back out and do something like this. So really, I'm just kind of talking because Lavelle is on his way and we're gonna get him coming in. Bro, but I put the rainbow, the stuff that they just got me.
You can't take him somewhere.
He gets on my nerves.
You can take me as a joke if you want to, but I'm serious.
I didn't realize I was still recording for YouTube. Hold on. Okay, we've been ignoring him, Lavelle. Okay, so Hannah wants to take a picture of us before the lobby closes downstairs. So our pictures, well, what we gonna wear on your episode?
I'm sorry.
Well, what we gonna wear on your episode?
Okay.
What our episode? We need to have that outfit out. She gonna take a picture of you individually, me individually, me and you together. And then I'm gonna do the 6K shoot probably. This is like a little casual blue dress, honey. I got from Amazon downstairs. Cheese. But yeah, this is what we got to work with. I mean, of course you know you can go to the closet. This is a black blazer. I can fit that. This is, Jasmine's on her way. So I got makeup starting at 1:30. So this will all be you. You just have to be going in and out the clothes, all of that. I mean, we not gonna probably do that.
Okay, so you need your outfit for yours and for both of us.
No, just one. For me and you. And then one more for my single episode.
That was what I just said,
Oh,
right?
really? I didn't know.
I thought I said that.
Okay. So yeah, Jasmine's gonna probably need all of this. So I'm gonna move. These are the cute little shoes.
We said we was wearing black.
Okay. Yeah, we did.
Okay, well that's an easy pick right there.
Okay.
You got that right there, and the 2 picks.
Okay, great. No problem.
No problem.
And also your other thing is after I get makeup, we just cutting his hair into a bob, and that's it.
That's what I gotta do.
Yeah, I hate you. Yeah, that's what you gotta do. Okay. Okay, so again, I want you to know you're gonna have to move in there with loud Benji, but because Jasmine's she probably coming. She'll be on the way. We got our toes done, so like, you know, if I have to wear this little shoe, I will.
Oh yeah, that's cute.
Oh my look.
Hey.
So I didn't know what chair you would prefer.
Whatever you want, girl. We gonna make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Jasmine.
Look what she brought, y'all. She brought some flowers.
Benji.
I know, right?
Oh, you look so cute.
Benji, he
put it on.
right. Right. Benji acting, girl. He been acting all day, okay? A liar.
Yeah. Where he at?
He in there acting.
Oh, he in a cage.
Yeah, he's in a cage. Yeah, poor baby.
I want to see.
I know. He like, look, what's going on? I know.
Okay, so how you feel, Karmy?
I'm feeling good. Turn the music down, copyright. I'm feeling good, actually. I'm happy. Got my people here. So I'm super excited. I really feel like rested and just like calm. So I feel like that's a good place to be in, especially for I'm about to be doing all this talking.
Okay, so what type of look are you going for?
Today?
Yes.
So makeup, this is our usual look. Like, it's the smoked out eyes, and then what do you call it, like bright lid?
Yeah, it's like a creamy lid,
okay,
neutral ombre, kind of sultry, but just open at the same time.
Yes, sultry but yet open. That's what we're going for makeup. As far as clothes, Lavelle and I, we're supposed to be wearing black, so he should be back there getting our stuff together. So that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be so cute.
Yes. And I like this eye because it can go with any, like this makeup look, it can go with anything that I'm wearing, so that's why I like it.
This is the Carmen B eye.
This is literally, we've done this, yeah, we have cultivated this.
Finally got it like
literally,
she likes it.
This is my perfect, like this is my eye. Like,
yeah,
I love it.
Loves this style.
I love it.
Okay, tell us like what is the podcast is gonna be about? Like, what are you gonna be talking about?
Yeah, so it's really just a place where I'm gonna share my authentic stories and my journey from faith, you know, business, lifestyle, things that I'm going through. Candid conversations is what I'm really hoping to have. I've always loved interviews and watching people just talk, making guests feel comfortable on their show, and then also sharing their own stories. So that's what I'm hoping to emulate with Carmen B TV.
Do you have experience in talking, or is this just a gift? Like,
Yeah, so I think it's a little bit of both. Like, I just feel like I'm gonna run my mouth. I know how to talk, okay? That's always been something that I've done, but I feel like it became a skill when I went to school for journalism and broadcasting, and I was working at the news station, did the news, the weather, all of that. I feel like that's when it was really refined. So me like practicing my inflections and all of that, that came from the actual skill in school. But me talking, that's just me.
so how long Jasmine been your makeup artist?
Wow, Jasmine's my makeup artist. Did we say 3 years? Mm-hmm. It's been 3 years. It's funny you asked that because I just texted her the other day, our first time her doing my makeup, and it was 3 years ago. Almost a month ago, actually. So yeah, she's been doing my makeup a long time. And I love it. I'm such a creature of habit. And Jazz, my first time I knew, I'm like, oh yeah, she'll be doing makeup forever. Because I just love it.
Okay, we almost at the end, Karmy. So how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I mean, I'm excited. I have no jitters or anything. Like, I'm sure, when I get downstairs and have to start doing these takes, but I'm okay. Like, I'm really good. Hey y'all, it's Carmen B, and this is Carmen B TV. Yeah, I am excited to finally have my online platform. I don't really know, I don't have much of a rhyme or rhythm, but I know it was time for me to start sharing my stories and the stories of others. So, Carmen B TV, where I share inspiring content, insightful discussions from faith, business, and everything in between. So, who is Carmen B? Well, that's me. Carmen B. Smith. I am a 29-year-old Dallas, Texas resident, which is so crazy. So I really started this journey back in college, I would say professionally, as far as speaking on camera and just being comfortable talking to people, talking about my own stories, and recording my own content. So basically, when I started in college, I knew that I wanted to work at the news station, but I didn't really know how I wanted to basically get on TV, because I'm like, telling the news sometimes is really sad, and I found myself getting really acquainted with the stories. And in the news, you learn that you have to be objective, and I'm like, I can't really be objective because some stories I feel like I care a lot more about than others. So it just kind of led me to know maybe the news is not for me. So when I graduated college, I did like most people do. I went and I worked at the news station, but I quickly knew, yeah, I won't be here for long. So I started to say, what is it that Carmen B. Smith can do to really make her mark in this online space? And I really had to think, I'm just gonna have to use the thing that God gave me, which is my voice. If you know me, you know I can talk. And by the end of this episode, you'll realize that. So I said, it's just time to just put myself out there. So a little bit about myself. I am a Little Rock, Arkansas native, born and raised to my mom and my dad. And I've always known that I was going to have some level of success on screen, but I never thought I was going to have to make that for myself. So if somebody's out here watching, sometimes you have to kind of make your own lane and do your own thing, and that's basically what Carmen B TV is to represent. I went to public schools, like many people that I grew up with, and in public school, I was pretty much outgoing. Like, I'm the same person that I am now. D.L. Hughley always says, who you always were is who you always are. So basically, there's really nothing new under the sun. We just grow up, develop, get a little older, refine a little of our talents. So in school age, people would probably call me outgoing, authentic, some of the same things that they would refer to me as now. I went to the University of Central Arkansas in college, and that's where I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do broadcast journalism and public relations because I want to make this thing serious. Like when I say that, I grew up singing in the church. I grew up, talking on TV, always had my camera. Like, I was the person that was always taking pictures. I don't know if y'all remember this app called Picnic, but it was an app where people would always have me like edit for them and all of those things. So I feel like I was always in the media space, but it was time I got in front of the camera. So when I went to college, as I said, I went ahead and did a broadcast journalism degree. And that's when I realized I really like this. Like, I really like writing scripts. I really liked recording and actually being on camera. A lot of times it was a little too technical for me because I learned that, child, I can't always just be reading the teleprompter. Like, sometimes I just kind of want to go off script and just kind of do what's natural for me. And so I learned all that I could learn in college. I got all of those skills. So if you're watching this, if you're in college studying broadcast journalism and you may know this is not what I'm supposed to do or what I really want to do, you're going to need all of those skills, even to produce such a show as Carmen B TV. all of the skills that I needed back then, I have to use now. So back in college, Carmen B TV, I don't know if Carmen B TV necessarily was just tugging at me, but I remember being in my dorm room and I wrote Carmen B Smith Multimedia LLC on a piece of paper, and I put $50 because at the time, that's how much it cost to get an LLC in Little Rock, Arkansas. So put that on a piece of paper. So I always knew that I would be doing something in regards to using my name, using my platform, but I didn't know what that looked like. So since college, I've kind of been playing around with different types of ways of putting my brand out there to build up to this point. As of recent, I have been creating content and doing influencing as a smaller creator here in Dallas. And that has really showed me like, okay, this is still not the thing. Because I don't know if you know, a lot of times you could do multiple things over and over and you think like, okay, this gonna be the thing. And it's like, no, that's not the thing. You know what the thing is. It's been keeping you up all night. You have to get back to that. And so me being in front of the camera, though, it scares me, though I know I have to work on inflections and just all of the things that I learned back at UCA, it's just the thing that didn't let me go. So I think for anybody that's watching this, my word of advice would be you may as well just go ahead and do that thing that's keeping you up, because everything else will just kind of be like a small pillar to the actual, big umbrella of what you're trying to accomplish. So when I graduated college, my first job out of college, I worked at a law firm, and I was super excited to just have a first big girl job that was paying me a salary. Okay, child, I was able to move out on my own, get my own car. I just thought I was on top of the world, okay? I was working as an intake receptionist, and then the role expanded into a social media and community engagement specialist. So it was a little closer to like being in front and being on the scene, but not really exactly, So let me tell it, I would have retired from that job because literally I loved it so much. And I think from being from Arkansas, it's that small town thing. Like you just be so excited to have a salary job. You just be so excited to be able to support your own livelihood that you're not really thinking about where I am today. Like the me now looking back, it's like, why would you ever think that? So anyway, basically after working that job, I was actually abruptly fired. And I talk about this a lot on my social medias. I was fired from this job. The company ended up going through a merger. They ended up fighting me during the unemployment. It was just a hot mess, okay? And this was the first time since moving out on my own that I had been without income for about 3 or 4 months. So I'm looking around like, okay, I ain't got no money coming in, but I got all these bills. How am I gonna sustain my lifestyle? Child, I feel like I lived so much better as a person without a job than I did when I was working at that law firm. And to many of you, it may sound a little crazy, like how? I can't tell you how, but literally God was literally providing. I was going out of town more times than I ever went in my life. I was going to concerts more than I had ever went in my life. And I'm just like, okay, so maybe, just maybe this job is not the actual resource. God is my resource. He provides for me, and the job is just a source of that. And so I think that was the first turning of me actually going into full-time entrepreneurship, because I'd had the skill to build websites. I learned that in college. So I'm just out of college, and they fired me, and I'm like, okay, what can I do with what I already know? My friends were asking me to build their websites back in Arkansas, and I was like, yeah, I'll build your websites, $150. It was so cheap. And I was building their websites and realized how fast I was getting their websites built and the quality that I was able to provide to my clients. And so one of my friends, my close best friends, if he's watching this, Vernell, I did his website for his business, and I remember him saying, if you're doing it like this, you may as well be doing it full time. And I'm like, I ain't doing no websites full time. Like, why would he even say that? Like, this is still when I'm in my unemployment battle. So I'm not really seeing that I could do this full time. I'm just kind of doing what I got to do, because like a lot of people, entrepreneurship was not my first pick. Like, I never thought I would be an entrepreneur. Actually, I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. I would fight anybody and everybody that would say, maybe you should do this on your own, because for me, I like the security. But when my job, I abruptly lost my job, had to wait on unemployment for 4 months, I had to do something. And that was the something. So when he said, you know what, you should probably just do this, full time, I didn't take him at his word right then. I ended up getting another job. I was working as a qualified behavioral health provider for children, and I love kids. So it was more so a passion for me. I took a pay cut, but I didn't care. I loved working with kids. But around March is when COVID happened. So when COVID happened, I really couldn't work my job anymore because they wanted us to still go into the homes and COVID was still pretty uncertain. So I decided to just quit. At this time, I had about 2 or 3 website clients and their deposits were more than what my check was at this job. And that was just kind of like the confidence that I needed to, let me go ahead and leave y'all alone. And since then, I've been in full-time entrepreneurship to some degree ever since. So after around 2020, that's when I decided, you know what? It might be time for me to move to Texas. When I was at UCA, I would always call my papa and granny and say, I'm moving to Texas when I graduate. I would tell my mama and daddy, I'm moving to Texas when I graduate, but nobody believed me. I finally decided to move to Texas. My best friend called me. Now, he never was supposed to be moving to Texas. He was always to be moving to California. But one day he called me talking about, I'm moving to Texas and you can come be my roommate. And I'm like, huh? And I don't do roommates. Everybody know I don't do the roommate thing. But it was something about, I don't know if it was his persistence or just me always saying Texas was the move for me or all of it together. But I was like, okay, it may be time. So he actually moved to Texas before I did. And I came shortly after. And when I came to Texas, I literally was just like, okay, this may be the place for me. I knew that Texas was a good move for him and I, you know, for that season. Because when we moved, we got a lot of adversity. Like, people was just kind of like, oh, y'all think y'all doing it big or y'all changing or y'all ain't talk. And I'm like, no, we just really out here working. Because mind you, I moved to Texas on my business's income. I thought that I was going to get a job. I was looking for a job. I never considered myself moving to Texas without one. So I was applying. I wasn't getting anything. So I felt like God was saying, like, what do you have? Use what you have. And that's what I did. I used exactly what was in my hands. I continued building websites, building brand strategies. When I moved to Texas, my prices definitely had to go up because that $150 that I quoted y'all for websites absolutely could not sustain me in Texas. So I continued to work, you know, full-time as an entrepreneur. And that really is what catapulted me into full-time entrepreneurship. Like, doing it back home in Arkansas, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of doing it. But when I was able to actually like take care of myself here in Texas, I'm like, oh, maybe I'm doing a little something, you know? But entrepreneurship isn't always glitter and gold. It's not always ups. I definitely went back to get a job. This is when my best friend moved back to California. So I was a little anxious about paying rent and all those things on my own with my entrepreneurial money. So I did go back to get a job, but I didn't last long, honey. Did not last long, probably stayed there about 4 or 5 months. And since then, I've been back in full-time entrepreneurship. So this isn't to say you need to quit your job, because I'm not a proponent of that. I feel like you have to know where your faith lies and what you have capacity for. Like, I didn't always realize that I had the capacity to really push myself to great lengths and just really do the most when it came to my livelihood until I moved to Texas. Everything was more expensive. I wanted to live a certain way. And I just really wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. Because again, family and friends, they were like, what are you going to do when you move to Texas? I'm like, the same thing I've been doing, building websites, you know. So I really didn't have a solid plan outside of that. So for anybody watching and you want to move out of your small town, I say do it. I don't say quit your job, but I say if you want to get out of your small town, the time is now. Do it, because you never know what you're missing out on by not doing it, by letting fear stop you or stunt your growth. So I'm excited. Like I said, when my best friend told me that he was moving out here, I just feel like it was an angel. It was God really saying, like, here go, because I don't know if I would have moved as fast, you know, without him. But yeah, that's really how I moved to Texas from Arkansas. I decided that it was time for me to change my life. I didn't know what was in Texas. I'm not like a lot of people that are like, they well studied. You know, I don't find myself well studied in that way where I'm like, okay, Texas has the best rent prices, or, you know, Colorado has it wasn't like that for me. I just one day said, Texas is where I'm moving, and that's kind of where I've been so far. So yeah, that's how I moved to Texas. I really like to call it a move of faith. Literally, what I do every single day is a move of faith. This Carmen B TV is a move of faith. I do not know what's going to come from it, and I don't think I have to know. I just have to be obedient, and I hope you guys would join me on the journey. Thank you for watching.